now we are going to continue to Bruitparif or David Bernfeld. It's nice to see you, David. And I have exaggerated maybe when I described the Medusa. I said that it can document the noise, identify the vehicle, and even send an electronic fine before the sound has left the streets. But that may be an exaggeration. But we have very, very great expectations to Medusa.
Okay, so hello everyone. Thank you very much for your invitation to this webinar. I'm really glad to be here. I am David Bernfeld, an acoustic and electronic engineer at Bruitparif. Our talk today will be about our custom noise sensor called the Medusa. Bruitparif is a non-profit organization created in 2004 by the regional council of the Paris region called Île-de-France. Our team is comprised of 15 engineers and technicians with skill sets ranging from acoustic, cartography, engineering, and much more. And not only we measure and assess noise, we also analyze the data and use it to support public policies. And at Bruitparif, we are really keen on making this information easily understandable and available on our website for the general public. The noise situation in the Île-de-France region, the Paris region being only 2% of the French territory, represents almost 20% of the overall French population. We're talking about more than 40,000 kilometers of roads, 3 main international airports, and more than 2,000 kilometers of railways. 76% of the Paris region inhabitants are concerned about noise. 9 million of the inhabitants, that's 75% of them, are exposed to noise levels that exceed the World Health Organization recommendations. Almost 13% of inhabitants are exposed to noise levels that exceed the French limit values. The social cost of noise is estimated to be 16 billion per year just for the region of Paris. So basically, to assess that, we have 3 complementary tools. First of all, we conduct surveys and we analyze the complaints with the inhabitants. Also, lead short and long-term measurements on the field. And with software, we publish maps that are made with modelization and simulation of noise. With this evaluation that we do, we can, for example, document the evolution of noise to monitor change in technology, for example, on the road surfacing, changes in urban organization, traffic, and that kind of stuff, social habits. A great example for that is the first lockdown, spatial planning, and that kind of stuff. We provide all this data to further validate or calibrate the noise maps that we published. And with all that, we inform the stakeholders and the general public. Our network of sensors is comprised of, it's divided by a field of noise. We have aircraft, road, railways, construction sites, recreative noise, and others, of course. So yeah, you can clearly see that starting in 2016, we started measuring and observing recreative noise. And aircraft noise has been, for example, measured for more than 10 years now. We use several sensors for that in our network. Of course, we'll talk more today about the one we made, which is the Medusa. You can see it's here on the upper right side. What it's capable of is it's capable of providing LAEQ and LCEQ every 10th of a second. And with that, it gives the dominant sound direction with a 1 degree precision. So what it has is that in the center of the device, you have a camera and we can map on that picture the spatial origin of the sound. This camera is capable of 360 degrees picture. And for privacy reasons, even though we could do video, we only take one picture every 15 minutes. And after that, automatic blurring and masking is done on the server. Still, for privacy reasons, no actual audio is recorded on our servers. All the calculation is made in real time, and the calculations on the noise levels, that's what's broadcasted to our network. It's easily installed on street lights and railing. It's a patented system, and for that, we won the Decibel d'Or Award in 2019. A quick history of the sensor. 2016 was the year where we tested first the proof of concept in Paris on the field. The camera was added in 2018, and now we are at the last version, more industrial, if I may say. So yeah, that was the last version that got out in 2021. So on our websites, to monitor our network, this is the kind of stuff you can see if you zoom in on the map. Each of these points is a sensor. It's not especially a Medusa sensor, but most of them are. The number you see here is the noise level in decibels. So for each of these points, you can click on it and get further info, and we'll see that the kind of info you can get on clicking on it. So on the upper left side here is a map view, as we saw earlier. On the upper right side, you get an evolution of the noise level for a given time frame. On the upper left side, you have a week view. Each line represents a time window of 15 minutes. Color represents the noise levels. And when you click on a time window, you then get access to the immersive 360 view with the sound mapped on the view. So, and the color, as on the week view, indicates the noise level. You also have more info than that, and we'll dig a bit deeper later into it. So there are many possible applications for that. We can help regulating a nuisance in lively neighborhoods exposed to nightlife. Also, we can use that sensor to provide information on noise generated by construction sites or industrial installations. We can help in processing complaints regarding professional activities, ventilation systems, and air conditioners. We can control noise emissions of vehicles on the road, and that will open to us the subject of noise radar. And we can monitor a system, it can be a monitoring system for aircraft noise and much more. Here in this example, it is Rue des Lombards in Paris, a street known for its jazz clubs and bars. Here, the Medusa is able to know which bar is responsible for the dominant sound source. We installed in each of these bars a light indicator called photon. So it can turn different color. It can turn into green or orange or red color. It's connected to the internet, and our Medusa tells. For example, if bar 1 is the loudest of the streets, the photon light indicator in this bar will turn red. So this encourages self-regulation from the customers and the bar holders. Another application here on construction sites, we can clearly tell what part of the construction sites is responsible for the most noise, and that can help regulate. Also, it was linked to an app called Météo du Chantier. And basically, it was a forecast for the noise to come during the week. So the inhabitants could organize their week around that and then monitor if the schedule was respected with this sensor and info. On a vehicle application here, we can clearly tell that scooter here was hitting the gas while he was stopping and waiting before that crosswalk. We can see all the trajectory, and the dots being darker means he was hitting harder the gas, or at least emitting more noise. Also to be noted here, just to assess the precision of the device, we can see a pink dot on the suitcase this lady is dragging, and also another pink dot on the wheel, the front wheel of the car right here. So it's quite precise. Here we have in front of us a bike passing by in front of the sensor, and so we can see that there are signature graphs that come with a pass by of a vehicle. So upper side of the screen here on the graph, you have the noise level over a given time window. Under that, of course, the 360 view. And on the left, you have three information. So you can zoom in on the time window and see the sound level on that zoomed in time window. And then two graphs. One is for the azimuth angle. So that's, north, south, east, that kind of stuff. And another graph is for the elevation angle over time. Elevation is if the angle of the spatial origin is under the horizon, at the horizon, above the horizon, and such. So clearly, here we saw that it's coming from the left and then leaves on the right. And if we look at the elevation angle, it starts at the horizon, passes by under the sensor, and leaves to the horizon. Exactly the same thing here, but with three bikes passing by. And we get that same signature graph of a vehicle passing by in front of the sensor. Same exact experiment, but with a swarm of bikers this time. And still we see this pattern. So the sensor is used for a lot of different stuff. Here it was used in the study to count the number of vehicles passing by and order them by amount of noise level. And what we were able to see with this study is that a very small number of vehicle passing by is responsible for most of the energy on the road, the sound energy on the road. So here it opens, it leads the way to use it as a noise radar. Here we have our road sign. It says trop bruyant in French, which means too noisy, too loud. The road sign is powered by solar energy, and it just gives an information to the drivers about their noise level. We didn't choose to give them an exact number, so we would avoid a race or to use it as a game. Just one information, one threshold, one information, too loud. No numbers, so they won't be playing with it. This is another version that is able in the near future to maybe give fines to the drivers. So the French government right now is leading an experiment, and we, Bruitparif, with this device, are one of the three contestants to test that kind of equipment. So on the sides here, there are two cameras able to read license plates. And basically, each of these helmets, they look like helmets a bit, each one of them is kind of a Medusa. So you get two Medusas, and since one Medusa is able to point a direction of a sound, if you get two Medusas with the difference in angle, you can get the distance. And now that you can get the distance of the sound source, you can also get the amount of noise at the source and not at the sensor as we're used to for most sensors. So that's very useful. And at the bottom of the device here, you can see there is so this time not a 360 camera, but a 180. It's a half a sphere of a view, and it can detect what kind of vehicle it's seeing. So there's stats that can be made on the type of vehicle, being a scooter, a truck, a car, or whatever. Another application here is for air traffic, of course. We can see here it's exactly like a passing by of a biker, except that the trajectory happens in the sky. It's the only difference. And then on our website here that you can see that each of the events has a small airplane above. Two reasons for that. It's recognized as an airplane if it's above the horizon, but that's not the only thing. Also, it's linked with data from the DGAC. It's kind of the French FAA. They give us the trajectories almost in real time of their airplanes, their radar tracks. So once we can link a plane passing by on their radar and a noise event, we then get that blue plane icon. Still on our websites, that's the kind of stuff you can obtain when you click on a site. So you get the map view and you get more stats. You'll see you get weekly view, monthly view, daily view, a lot of different indicators that can be quite useful. That's our whole network that you can see here. Paris is in the middle, and that's the whole Île-de-France. Here you have the URLs for different noise or different noise websites for being road, aircraft, railways, and such. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for your attention, and I'll be willing to answer any questions now.
Do you believe that the system will be able to withstand challenges in the courts when you take the Porsche driver into the court?
I believe yes, actually. That's what's being tested right now with the French government, exactly how precise it is and how much we can be sure about the results it's outputting. But I think it can be as precise as the speed radars we have nowadays. And actually, the threshold is going to be set according to the precision. So if the precision is less, the noise threshold will be higher, just assuring the fact that if you're over than that, it's positive that you were over the regulation for the noise. So yeah, the threshold will be set according to the precision of the device.
We have learned from media that in the 6, 7, 8 cities in France will try this noise radars, and we also learned that other countries in Europe are involved in such efforts. Do you work outside France, or is it only in France that you deliver your system? We have a question here if the noise radars are commercially available.
So right now we're working with it in France, but we are open to work elsewhere. We have worked with the Medusa, so not the radar per se, but the Medusa. We have worked with it outside of France. And yeah, we will be open to international stuff further this year after the testing.
There is, and I know there are some political parties in Norway that want to have pilots with such equipment. So maybe we will get a request from Norway sooner or later, I hope so. And maybe we have the opportunity to, if there come questions later, we maybe can contact you on
sure.
email.
Yeah.
Thank you, David.
Thank you very much.